Music of Malaysia is the generic term for music that has been created in various genres in Malaysia. A great variety of genres in Malaysian music reflect the specific ethnic groups of multiracial Malaysian society consisting of Malay, Chinese, Indian, Iban, Dayak, Kadazandusun, Eurasians and other groups. In general, music of Malaysia may be categorized as classical, folk, syncretic, popular and contemporary art music. Classical and folk music emerged during the pre-colonial period and exists in the form of vocal, dance and theatrical music such as Nobat, Mak Yong, Mak Inang, Dikir, barat, Ulek, mayang and Menora. The syncretic music developed during the post-Portuguese period and contains elements from both local music and foreign elements of Arabian, Persian, Indian, Chinese and Western musical and theatrical sources. Among genres of this music are Zapin, Ghazal, Dondang Sayang, Mata Cantiga, Joget, GK, Boria, Kerong Kong and Bangsawan. Both Malaysian popular music and contemporary art music are essentially Western-based music combined with some local elements. In 1950s, the musician P. Ramlee helped in creating a Malaysian music that combined folk songs with Western dance rhythms and Western Asian music. Ethnic traditions. Besides Malay music, Chinese and Indian Malaysians have their own forms of music, and the indigenous tribes of Peninsula and East Malaysia have unique traditional instruments. Malay music. Traditional Malay music span from music for various theatrical forms such as wayang kulit, bangsawan and dance dramas as well as storytelling, to folk songs and music for dances, royal ceremonies, martial arts, life cycle events, and religious occasions. Many forms of traditional Malay music and performing arts appear to have originated in the Kelantan Patani region with influences from India, China, Thailand and Indonesia. The music is based around percussion instruments, the most important of which is the gendam. There are at least 14 types of traditional drums. Drums and other traditional percussion instruments are often made from natural materials. Besides drums, other percussion instruments include the rebab, the serenade, the seruling, and trumpets. Music is traditionally used for storytelling, celebrating life cycle events, and times like harvest. It was once used as a form of long-distance communication. In East Malaysia, gong-based musical ensembles such as Agang and kulintang are commonly used in ceremonies such as funerals and weddings. These ensembles are also common in neighboring regions such as in the southern Philippines, Kalimantan in Indonesia and Brunei. The Malays of Kelantan and Terengganu are culturally linked to peoples from the South China Sea area, and are quite different from the west coast of Malaya. The martial art of Silat Melayu developed in the Malay Peninsula since the beginning of Common Era, also popular in Malaysia, while essentially still important as a branch of the self-defense form. Similar to Tai Chi, though of independent origin, it is a mix of martial arts, dance and music typically accompanied by gongs, drums and Indian oboes. The natives of the Malay Peninsula played in small ensembles called kurtik, which performed swift and rhythmic xylophone music. This may have led to the development of Dikir barat. In recent years, the Malaysian government has promoted this Kelantanese music form as a national cultural icon. Johor art performances such as Zapin and Hamdulillah as well as musical instruments including gambus and samra have apparent Arabo and Persian influences. Arabic-derived Zapin music and dance is popular throughout Malaysia and is usually accompanied by a gambus and some drums. Ghazals from Arabia are popular in the markets and malls of Kuala Lumpur and Johor, and stars like Menora are very successful. In Malacca, ronggeng is the dominant form of folk music. It played with a violin, drums, button accordion and a gong instrument. Another style, dondang saoyang, is slow and intense. It mixes influences from China, India, Arabia, and Portugal with traditional elements. Chinese music. The Hua Yutuan, or Chinese orchestra, is made up of traditional Chinese musical instruments and some Western instruments. The music itself combines Western polyphony with Chinese melodies and scales. Although the bulk of its repertoire consists of music originated from Hong Kong, Taiwan and China, many local Chinese orchestras also regularly perform Malay folk tunes with various local composers making a definite effort to absorb elements of surrounding musical cultures, especially Malay, into the compositions. In Malaysia, Chinese orchestras exist nationwide in urban areas which have large concentrations of Chinese Malaysians, sponsored largely by various Chinese organizations including schools, clan associations and Buddhist societies. A typical orchestra consists of between 12 and 50 members. The orchestra is usually made up of 4 sections: bowed string instruments, plug strings, the wind section, and percussion. Also commonly found are percussion troops with drums, gongs and cymbals that provide rhythm for performances of lion dance. There is no lack of virtuoso performers in the Chinese classical tradition in Malaysia. Advanced training is however not presently available, with most Malaysian virtuoso musicians obtaining their advanced training either in China or Singapore. Various professional and semi-professional Chinese orchestras are in existence. Malaysian Western-trained classical conductors are employed full-time. Much of the music played is imported from China. There are however some accomplished Malaysian composers for this medium such as Sorbun Kiat and Chu He Kiat. There has been a local Malaysian Chinese recording industries since the 1960s, with generations of Chinese singers involved in Mandopop music. In the 1960s, singers such as Poon So Ken achieved notable success in the region, and in the 1970s and 80s, Malaysian Chinese pop singers such as Wang Xie, Ao Chuan, Lan Yin, Donny Yap, and Li Yu were popular. In more recent times, popular singers include Eric Mu, Li Xinxia, Fish Leong, Zed Chen, Penny Tai and Daniel Lee. Indian music. Indian music is strongly associated with religious tradition and faith. As its origins in India, there are 2 systems of traditional classical Indian music in Malaysia, viz. Carnatic music and Hindustani music. Since Tamils from South India are the predominant group among the Indian population in Malaysia, it is the South Indian Carnatic music which predominates. Simply speaking, Hindustani classical music is more lyric-oriented, while Carnatic classical music emphasizes musical structure. Indian classical music as it is performed in Malaysia has remained true to its origin. There is practically no other cultural influence, other than reflecting Indian life. The purpose of Indian classical music is to refine the soul. The fundamental elements of Carnatic music are raga and tala. A raga is a scale of notes, while the tala is the time measure. A Carnatic music concert usually starts with a composition with lyrical and passages in a particular raga. This will be followed by a few major and subsequently some minor compositions. In Malaysia, traditional classical Indian music is studied and performed by Malaysians of Indian ethnic origin with material that still comes from India. Musical productions are mainly in the form of dance dramas incorporating instrumental ensemble, vocal music and dance. Musical instruments used in the performances are imported from India. Over the years, Punjabi music have established itself in Malaysia. One example of famous Punjabi music is Bhangra. Many Malaysian songs today has the Punjabi influence. For example, the sound of the dhol, an instrument used mainly by the Punjabis, have been incorporated in many Malay, Chinese and Indian songs in Malaysia. The increase of interest in Punjabi music have led to the birth of Malaysia's very first urban Bhangra-themed group, called Goldcuts. Indigenous tribal music. The Orange Asli groups of West Malaysia, Semanj, Senwa, and Orange Asli have their own musical traditions. The Semanj people are nomadic and the musical instruments are disposable and created when needed, and instruments used include nose flute, jews harp and tubes, which are also used by the Senwa. Instruments used by the Senwa are more long-lasting and include karib. The Orange Asli, however, have closer contact with Malay and Chinese populations and used a wider range of musical instruments ranging from xylophone to violin. The instruments may be used for shamanistic purposes such as singing and trance dancing ceremonies, and healing rituals. A number of ethnic groups such as the various Dayak tribes, Kadazan, and Bajor are found in Sabah and Sarawak. The music of these people include vocal music for epics and narratives, songs for life cycle events and rituals associated with religion, healing, growing rice, hunting game, and waging war, songs for dancing and community entertainment, as well as a wide variety of instrumental music. Instruments used include drums, gongs, flutes, zithers, xylophones, and jews harps, of which the bronze gongs are the most significant. Ensembles of gongs of various sizes are played to welcome guests and in ceremonies and dances. A well-known instrument in Sarawak is the sapa, a plucked lute of the Kain and Kenya people, which is used for entertainment and dancing. Other instruments include the xylophone, jatung utang, bamboo flutes, and sets of bamboo tubes called togunggak, which were formerly played in head-hunting ceremonies of the Murut. World music. Ethnic music has also found a new and vigorous following, with world music festivals like the Rainforest World Music Festival, held annually since 1998 in a scenic open-air setting in Sarawak. The first Malaysian ethnic fusion group to play on this international platform was AKARUMBI, comprising Temuan ceremonial singer Mina Angong, Antares and Rafiq Rashid. Unfortunately, the charismatic Mina Angong died just 3 weeks after winning over the hearts of a whole new audience at the RWMF 1999. This left AKARUMBI with only one posthumously released CD to its name. Private companies like Trident Entertainment have begun to invest in the production, distribution and promotion of the ethnic fringe in Malaysian music. Classical music. Within Malaysia, the largest performing arts venue is the Petronas Philharmonic Hall. The resident orchestra is the Malaysian Philharmonic Orchestra. Malay popular music is a combination of the music from all ethnicities in the country. The Malaysian government has taken steps in controlling what music is available in Malaysia. Rap music has been criticized. Heavy metal has been limited, and foreign bands must submit a copy of a recent concert before playing in Malaysia. It is believed that this music is a bad influence on youth. Fusion music. In the field of Malaysian contemporary music, a number of composers have gained international recognition. For example, award-winning composers Chong Ki-yong, Dr. Tazul Isn Tajuddin, Yii Kaho, Saidar Rastam, Adeline Wong and others, encompassing a diverse range of styles and aesthetics. Pop, Malaysia's pop music scene developed from traditional social dance and entertainment music such as Asli, Inang, Joget, Dondang Sayang, Zapin and Masri, which were adapted to Anglo-American dance band arrangement by Bangsawan troops in the 1920s and 1930s. The Bangsawan troops are in fact a type of Malaysian opera influenced by Indian opera at first known as Wayang Pasir, which was started by rich Persians residing in India. They portrayed stories from diverse groups such as Indian, Western, Islamic, Chinese, Indonesian and Malay. Music, dance, and acting with costumes are used in performance depending on the stories told. The musicians were mostly local Malays, Filipinos and Guanis. One of the earliest modern Malay pop songs was Tudung Periok, sung by Momo Latif, who recorded it in 1930. In the 1950s, P. Ramlee became the most popular Malay singer and composer with a range of slow ballads such as Aziza, Dundange Perantau and the evergreen Di Mana Kanku Kari Ganti. In the 1960s, the genre of pop music influenced by the Beatles and other British rock and roll bands called pop appeared in Malaysia. The term pop was taken from a line from the popular Beatles song She Loves You. In the 1960s and 1970s, a modified rock combo called Kujaran was also common and was often used to accompany singers. In the mid-1990s, Dangdut experienced a resurgence after lying dormant since the early 1980s with the debut of Amelina. Her least successful album sold in the 100,000 SA feet that is yet to be repeated in the 2010s. Composer Ruslan Mamit, who pioneered the modern dangdut, credited Ace of Base for the tempo reference. Contemporary pop music exchanges between Malaysia, Indonesia, Singapore and Brunei are normal since the Malay language is widely spoken in all four countries. Pop singer Siti Nurhaliza, for example, is famous in the four countries. Hip-hop Crew is the most successful hip-hop dance group in Malaysia. After bringing rap music to the masses in 1982, they established their own record label, creating the first Malaysian girl group Feminine and R&B crooners Indigo. Feminine debuted at RTME Dul FITR Special in 1993, marking the start of the 80s girls group era. Rock Malaysian rock reached its peak in the 80s and early 90s with the local adaptation of with a fusion of blues rock and ballad. The popularity even reached neighboring country Indonesia.